Howdy, it's Christmas time. Santa Claus, with his reindeers, flying through the sky, everybody's happy. Everybody gets exactly what he or she was wishing for, and it's exactly at the correct spot, which means under the Christmas tree, and exactly at the exact time. Of course, main color of Santa Claus or the reindeer's nose is red, which might refer to some degree to Mars. But also about Venus, the serpent of creation and the serpent of destruction. Venus has two sides, the good and the bad one. And we have certain patterns which repeat this kind of spiral. And usually they are associated with Satanism or whatever thing you want to call it. Because, it's like a goat, which is really bad. It's an evil animal. And the funny thing is, like in the Finnish language, the Santa Claus, his real name in Finnish is Joulupukki. Joulu means Christmas. I once have to make some research about that word, but it's Christmas. And pukki refers to usually a male goat, which has the horns, which is very interesting. The Christmas goat, really? So this might be another further indication that it might refer to Venus after all. But now to something interesting, which is Mountainwater. It doesn't let me rest. There is new evidence and all these kind of things emerging all the time. We have to talk also about white rivers, like for here. For this example, we have Mount St. Helens in the USA, which is a cryptodome, which has the world's fastest growing glacier within its caldera, which has several white rivers attached to the volcano. See? There are others. White rivers, Nalchik, Russia, Momar, France. These are basically the Alps region. Udine, Parma, Valgau, Germany, Italy. And that's a global phenomenon. Those white rivers, as I call it, because I'm still making research. I really want to figure out what's the thing about those. And just as an example, since I just said that they are a global phenomena, let's check out some recent quake activity from the other side of the globe. Which brings us to the Philippines, Batak City. But there has been a bigger one. 5.2 10 hours ago, Besao, Philippines. Now, if we zoom in here a little bit more, you probably will see emerging this kind of wide river. If you zoom in a bit closer, you might notice that the water isn't exactly white. It is more reddish or brownish or however you want to call it, but the sediments, the islands, sandbanks or whatever they are more whitish than the color of the water. And they can differ very much. The color of the water can differ. It can be turquoise, it can be blue, it can be green. Also red like here in the Philippines. And obviously, there is also volcanoes. So we have volcanoes and wide rivers and earthquakes. Just on the other side of the earth, wide rivers and stuff. We also can make a quick comparison between two places. If I manage. Look at that. How beautiful. Living Rock and Mammoth Hot Springs, Yellowstone National Park, America. Petrified Spring, French Alps. I claim that these two places have some similarities. You can disagree? That's your free choice. I think, in my opinion, they have similarities, quite many. And everybody knows that Yellowstone is a volcano. We have similar things in the French Alps. We also have this kind of places like iron wells in the vicinity of the Alps. Kraftort Grimmiwasser, which means place of power. And about 33 kilometers away, we have the mountain peak Les Diablères, Glacier 3000. I have been there. Like when I was a kid, there's this cabin thing which drives on those wires. I have no idea what cable, some kind of cable car, whatever thing. Anyway, many years ago. And there you can find this picture which I found on Google Maps. No, Google Earth. There is this kind of glacier cave, and someone took a picture of the cave, and I noticed these bands here. And I still try to figure out, could they be iron? Are these algae or whatsoever? But I'm waiting still for an answer from Switzerland. So I don't know. That's still under an investigation. And the thing is, the reason why that's so interesting, there has been a fire here. Let's draw a fire. The mountain station burned down to some degree, and I don't know why. But I try to figure this also out. Because if there is iron pouring out of this mountain top, we really have to think about the electricity which can flow within such kind of system. We would have this kind of well, spring, source on top of a mountain, which is a glacier. And I think the whole mountain water thing is basically just the thought of that every glacier carrying mountain could be or is a cryptodome, which is an actual volcano. So if we have these kind of things there where we have this kind of glacial deposits already at the start of the glacier, I think that's very, very interesting. What is it? Is it algae or iron? If it's iron, it would be very interesting, you know. Endogenous energy circuits of Earth and stuff like that. But now to the thing which I find really interesting. Actually, not. I still continue a little bit with this recapitulation of things very briefly. Cryptovolcanism. That's the German version of it, translated by Google. Guy Google. Because if you change the language here on Wikipedia, the content will differ. So that's just a hint for everybody using Wikipedia, how to get more information of it. We want to read about Cryptodome, or Cryptodomes, At the cryptodome, also known as the source dome, the rising viscous magma formed clump spherical rock bodies within the soft top layer, usually made out of tuff, which it bulged like a dome but could not break through. Intermediate or phasic rock, volcanic rocks such as trachyte, latite, phonolite, or rhyolite are typical for spring domes. Examples of such source domes are Drachenfels, which means dragon rock. Yeah. Stenzelberg, I don't know what Stenzel means. Hohentwil, Hohenkern, I have showed them many times. Katzenbuckel im Odenwald. And also, several new cryptodomes have emerged on Mount Uzu, a volcano on the Japanese island of Hokkaido in recent centuries. That's not too long ago. I made videos about that too. But also known as a source dome. This means there is water coming out of the mountain on probably many places. A source dome. There's water drawn like of these mountains. Cryptodomes. This means the mountain is alive, it's still active, it's still part of the environment as the contributing energy force, however you want to put it. A geological tree. Yeah. But now, let's really go to the thing. High country news. Water. Alaska's Arctic waterways are turning orange, threatening drinking water. Scientists think climate change may be the culprit. Dozens of once crystal clear streams and rivers in Arctic Alaska are now running bright orange and cloudy, and in some cases they might be becoming more acidic. This is otherwise undeveloped landscape now looks as if an industrial mine has been in operation for decades, and scientists want to know why. Roman Dyer, a professor of biology and mathematics at Alaska Pacific University, first noticed the starkest water quality changes while doing fieldwork in the Brooks Range in 2020. He spent a month with a team of 6 graduate students, and they could not find adequate drinking water. There's so many streams that are not just stained, they are so acidic that they curdle your powdered milk, he said. In others, the water was clear, but you couldn't drink it because it had a really weird mineral taste and tang. Dial, who has spent the last 40 years exploring the Arctic, was gathering data on climate change-driven changes in Alaska's tree line for a project that also includes work from ecologist Patrick Sullivan, director of the Environment and Natural Resources Institute of the University of Alaska Anchorage, and Becky Hewitt, an environmental studies professor at Amherst College. Now, the team is digging into the water quality mystery. I feel like I'm a grad student all over again in a lab that I don't know anything about, and I'm fascinated by it, Dial said. Yeah, Mr. Dial, check out my playlist about mountain water. Maybe you'll find something interesting. Most of the rusting waterways are located within some of Alaska's most remote protected lands, the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, the gates of the Arctic National Park and Preserve, the Kobuk Valley National Park, and the Selavik Wildlife Refuge. Yeah. A tributary of the Gugururok River in Noatak National Park and Preserve, Alaska. The phenomenon is visually striking. Yeah. It seems like something's been broken open, or something's been exposed in a way that has never been exposed before, Dial said. All the hard rock geologists who look at these pictures, they're like, oh, that's like acid mine waste. But it's not mine waste. According to the researchers, the rusty coating on rocks and stream banks is coming from the land itself. The prevailing hypothesis is that climate warming is causing underlying permafrost to degrade. That releases sediments rich in iron. And when those sediments hit running water and open air, they oxidize and turn a deep rusty orange color. The oxidation of minerals in the soil may also be making the water more acidic. The research team is still early in the process of identifying the cause in order to better explain the consequences. I think the pH issue, the acidity of water, is truly alarming, said Hewitt. While pH regulates many biotic and chemical processes in streams and rivers, the exact impacts on the intricate food webs that exist in these waterways are unknown. From fish to stream bed bugs and plant communities, the research team is unsure what changes may result. The rusting of Alaska's rivers will also likely have an impact on human communities. Rivers like the Kobuk and the Wulik, where rusting has been observed, also serve as drinking water sources for many predominantly Alaska Native communities in northwest Alaska. One major concern, said Sullivan, is how the water quality, if it continues to deteriorate, may affect the species that serve as a main source for food for Alaska Native residents who live a subsistence lifestyle. Yeah, not like we, Western people. Check out what a beautiful white river. Check it out. The Salmon River in the Brooks Range runs orange in the early fall of 2020. The Wulik River terminates at the village of Kivalina, a community of just over 400 people 80 miles north of the Arctic Circle that relies on the river. There is many other places on Earth which rely on the river. Many big cities. So that's nothing special. Anyway, we are always worried about drinking water, said tribal administrator Millie Hawley, adding in a written message that her friends and neighbors fish for trout in the river year round. The community has seen the river become increasingly turbid in recent years, she said, and some people blame the nearby Red Dog mine, but Hawley said everyone is aware that the permafrost around them is melting and that increased erosion is causing the level of dissolved minerals and salts in the Woolwich to rise. Yeah, everyone is aware, you know. Anyway, in addition to present day impacts, the researchers are also considering the historical record. That's very interesting. I am sure it has happened previously, said Dial, because, in some sense, this is a natural phenomenon. But Dial and Sullivan note that the rate of climate warming is greater than anything recorded in the past. Yeah, probably there hasn't been any records. But anyway. So, so it's very possible that something like this has happened before, but it happened really slowly. And maybe there wasn't just this massive pulse of orange that wound up in these streams, Sullivan said. The team believes that there could be more than one climate change related factor at play. Yes, I think it has to do with geothermal activity, with the electric circuit of Earth and transmutation of elements. Probably hydrogen plays a role, combined with calcium, potassium, magnesium, and aluminium. But anyway, and also, no, I want. Let's continue with reading because it's already 20 minutes long again. 2019 and 2020, two of the warmest summers on record, were both followed by winters with unusually high snowpacks. Some weather people, they are complaining because back in the days, like the weather systems, they just came and go by, and nowadays they seem to get stuck in place. And I think it has to do with Earth's weakening magnetic field, which makes whatever imprints in Earth crust, surface conductivity anomalies, magnetic anomalies, and such much more important. That's why there has been unusual high snowpacks. Snow is a great insulator of soils, and it can be a potentially potent driver of permafrost thaw, said Sullivan. He likens it to adding an extra blanket to the ground before it freezes. For now, none of the researchers know for sure whether the orange streams and rivers are an anomalous occurrence, coinciding with a handful of unseasonably warm seasons, followed by a high snowpack. And only time will tell how long it might continue. That's in my playlist. Now there are 289 videos about mountain water, wide rivers, glaciers, cryptodomes, cryptogeysers, and quakes. That's maybe the most recent one I added, which was also a very nice find, which doesn't really contradict with anything, so it's very cool to find these kind of things. There are like many, many, many videos, and there might be some more somewhere, but I have been thinking about that stuff, this kind of river changing, and I somehow think it could be something like the water which is stored in Earth's crust. It might be at the moment still in a point of, retreat. Like a tsunami, it first retreats before it comes back. So the drought we have seen might be just the shrinking of, is it the asthenosphere, or it has a name? The sphere within Earth's crust where we have the water, which obviously is growing all the time because they find more and more and more water. If it's now still, in a way, contracting, it will expand at once. Then the rate of its expanding, I have no idea. When will it expand? I have no idea. I just think they are really strongly tied to solar activity. Maybe a CME impact, maybe solar flares can trigger this kind of expanding of this sphere. And if it expands, it just rises from the water, from the ground upwards. Many places which are in valleys, which are mainly made out of sediments from ancient flood events, they might experience liquefaction. Just everything the ground gets really soft. Like I've been talking about quick clay incidents in Norway, and like the Bible tells, even the mountains started to cry. So it could be that there's just all of a sudden like so much water pouring out of many mountains, which is just like amazing. Because the water, if it comes in liquid form, it will take the path of least resistance. It probably would take the path of least resistance, even though it wouldn't be water. In vapor form, with just hydrogen rising up and it binds into water. Or some other elements. No, probably we have to take hydrogen into account. But anyway, now the team is digging into the water quality mystery. I feel like I'm a grad student all over again in a lab that I don't know anything about, and I am fascinated by it. Dial said. Yes, Mr. Dial. Welcome to the mystery, or however you want to call it. It's not a mystery, it's just something we have to figure out how it works. Mystery is much more something which you want to keep being a mystery. And I don't want to keep mysteries, I want to figure it out. But anyway, another interesting find about rivers. Yeah, I think I leave it here. Thanks. Bye.